Hello, I hope you're having just an absolutely amazing day today. So as I mentioned, as I was recently going back to the Forgotten Realms, I'd gone back recently, about a year and a half ago, and reread the R.A. Salvatore stuff, about 10 of his novels, and that sort of thing. And so I thought it would be fun for me then I went back and I said recently I went back and knocked out some of the Ed Greenwood stuff. He's the guy who created it and then sold it off for about $1,000. Not that much, just with the appreciation, that knowledge that he'd be. And then in his first novel, Spellfire, he said, they said, show me the realms, show us the best of what you have. And so he did, but they came in a little high, and the page count, so they really trimmed it down and slashed it down. So I went back and reread his stuff. It was great too. I knocked out 2 of his books, and then I said that the Pool series trilogy is just the only other one that I typically will come back to and read for you folks. And so I figured, it'd be fun for me to knock this out. So I knocked this out in the last 3 days for you folks. And so it's 317 pages long, like the previous 2 from Ed Greenwood. Although shorter page count. Typically, for a novel like this one, I would be just, doing about 2 pages a minute, ideally. I'm sorry, 2 pages, 2 minutes a page, rather. So in a half an hour read, I would knock it out in 30 minutes. That's my ideal. Now, sometimes it's more like 25 pages every half hour, right, and that sort of thing, and so it's a little slower. So I plan around that. And I started reading it for 2 hours on Friday night, and then I looked down after the 2 hours and was like, I just read like 120, like 80 pages instead. So I gave it another hour that night, brought myself to about a third way through, 120 pages. Right, I was knocking it out very, very fast. Blew through it. And then on Saturday, also knocked out about 3 hours too, and it was down to about 80 pages left. I had left, and read the rest of it on my way to church yesterday on Sunday, and that sort of thing. And then on the way back, so knocked it out fast. It was about 8 hours. Right, it would have been 10 hours if I'd been doing 30 pages a day, and 12 hours if I'd done 25 pages a day. But it was about 8 hours, very, very fast. Blew through it, and that sort of thing. Right, great stuff. Love it lots. All right, so there you are. And so let's talk about my quick review of Pool of Radiance. Now, this is written by James M. Ward and Jane Cooper Hahn. This is a novelization of the video game Pool of Radiance, and that sort of thing. I thought it'd be fun, so I'm going to be doing. Also, they turned it into a module, so I'm going to be doing a module on my reviews of those on Monday, this on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday I'll be doing my review tomorrow of Pool of Radiance that inspired both of them. So this is from 1989, and that sort of thing. So it's a novelization of the video game. Now, so basically what happens is, our key three characters here are Chandra and Tarm. Sorry, I think it's Tarl. Yeah, it is, and Ren. For you folks, and Shaw starts off as an apprentice, and her master, who's very, very nice to her, and goes to Fateland, which is a setting of the Pool of Radiance, in order to help out one of his girlfriends who's getting assaulted and attacked, and then she doesn't take her or is familiar. And then he dies out in the first chapter. We'll see him using a crystal ball to contact her, give her some last messages, and that sort of thing. And then he'll give her all our stuff. He'll give her his familiar. He'll give her his wand, a wonder, a staff of power, a ringer for wishes, a cloth of many pockets, and those sorts of things. Great stuff. So he definitely levels her up, and then she sets out to a new Phalanx to find out what happened to him, to get her vengeance. And then in the second chapter, we'll be introduced to Tarl. He is a cleric of Tyr and that sort of thing. They're coming down to Phalanx to join a brand new created temple of Tyr. In the new sections, Phalanx's been being cleared out. It's being locally claimed by the local council, slowly and surely, and that sort of thing. It's divided into Old Phalanx, which is all these ruins and such, and New Phalanx. So a new temple to Tyr, the god of justice and war, has been dedicated. He's on his way down there, and that sort of thing. On the way, we'll find out that he was a fighter first, and that sort of thing, and they actually be initiated to the Brotherhood of Tyr officially after going through the test of the sword. And then we'll find out good stuff. Then in the third chapter, we'll be introduced to Ren, who is a thief, and he was dual class. He started off as a ranger, and then he dual classed to a thief, and that's a different thing. But he left that, and now he's just a tavern guy in a local tavern, working as a waiter in New Phelan too. And so all three of those people will meet up. And be sent on a mission by the council after being caught, arrested for brawling. And brawling is now a crime after Newfoundland was taken over, trying to really sort of restore order and that sort of thing. And so they are sent to a place called Sohoki, the three of them together. And so that's sort of the story here, and then what will happen and that sort of thing. But there it does feel a little different. For example, Shaw has. She casts a magic missile on somebody and it hits him for 3 things. So I think it's level 5. And then you'll see Ren is very, very strong too. He's lived. And then Tarl is casting spells that are probably like level 3. So he's probably like level 5 too. Great. So they seem like they're pretty high levels and that sort of thing for this early level stuff. And then also you'll check them out too and do some things out there like, it feels like there's just 3 of them, whereas in the original video game there are 6, and that sort of a thing. Here there's just 3 of the little higher entries and that sort of thing, and with some of the same things. Now I have played a video game too, so some people might not like it for those reasons, but I think it's better because it feels like it's a own story rather than just telling a novelization of a video. It's trying to actually do it. Right, do the story justice rather than just have a soulless adaptation. So I prefer for those reasons. Love it lots. It's a great kickoff to the Heroes of Phelan series of 3 pools books that I love lots. And so I'm giving this probably I'm thinking between a 7.5 and an 8. I think it's better than the other 2 that come next to it. I still give it a 7.5. I like it lots because I don't give 7.75. Go around them and that sort of thing. But that's but I love the writing style, and again it's so fast. Blew through it in like 3 days. Loved it lots. And there you are. So that is my quick thoughts of Pool of Radiance, 7.5 out of 10. It's again by James M. Ward and Jane Cooper Hong. It's released the year after Pool of Radiance video in 1989, and it's a novelization of that. They also made a module too that year, 88, not 89. A little faster. Alrighty. So there you are. And then again, yesterday I would have done my Pool of Radiance modules review. It's actually called, if I remember correctly, they've changed its name in the Pool of Radiance video. So we'll be in the middle of that for you folks. But have you played it? Again, no spoilers or anything like that. But let me know what your thoughts are if you agree or disagree with my 7.5 out of 10. That's James M. Ward's and Jane Cooper Hong's Pool of Radiance for you folks. Now, as a reminder, I do 3 of these reviews and each week of older things in this era, like science fiction, fantasy, and horror that we cover. I also do yesterday. I do video game review. I'm talking tomorrow video game reviews of typically older things. So I've done a couple more recent ones and that sort of thing. But yeah, typically the older things, right, and that sort of a thing. I've done like Pool of Radiance, or I just did Planescape Torment. Yeah, a couple, 2, and then, older things too, but I did a couple more recent ones if I just played it and it was just released. And I just gave it like maybe 40 or 50 hours, or that sort of a thing. Like Planet Coaster 2 or 2 Point Museum. Alrighty, so there you are 2, and then also on Friday I do top 10s of older things, that sort of thing. Typically movies, but I've recently done albums and musical artists and comics and miniseries and comic titles too, but I'm thinking about going back to movies and that sort of thing. And then on Saturday, I do something called Serial Saturday, which is all about dedicated to the lost and forgotten sort of storytelling genres and that sort of thing. So if you like that, definitely check them out. I've done the first 2 seasons of Doctor Who from the 60s in the black and white era. I've just done lots of movie serials, like recently Tarzan's. I've done Flash Gordon. I've done Buck Rogers, that sort of thing. So if you like that stuff, check it out. Alrighty, and then again, the other 3 things. So if those 7 older videos sound like something that you would really be interested in, then please welcome to the channel. Do all the YouTube stuff and have a seat, right? And enjoy it. Sit back and relax. So do all the YouTube stuff, like hit the subscribe button, the bell icon to be notified of my 7 videos in case you're feeling risky, and then share and then like too. But mainly, if you want to grow the channel, watch and share and such. That'll be the key ways of doing it. Alrighty, and so there you are. As a reminder, those 7 older things are also the passion of the channel. It's also where it gets its name from. The worst thing about new books is a quote by a French philosopher, Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old ones, right? And just downplay some older stuff I might have forgotten for you folks. So finding these older things, in this case, a book, right? Or poems or video games or stuff like that. Those sorts of things too. I also do poems, short stories, prose poems. That's what I do. But you get the idea. Finding these older things is definitely the passion of this channel, right? Because, you know, it's not that the new things are bad. They're not. It's just that they're standing on the shoulders of giants, and we sometimes forget about that, right? So I think finding these giants that heavily influence them is a key part. It's also my number 1 strength in Strengths Quest, a personality type indicator. Such is also comes from 2. I appreciate something more by learning about it. Like, for example, Flash Gordon, I better appreciate Star Wars. Or Chasing Him, Appendix M by Gary Gygax in the first edition of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, and then which heavily influenced them, and that sort of thing. So I love that more too. So that's also where that comes from too. Alrighty, and then I want to thank you so very, very much, you know, for just taking some time and making it to the end of my video and watching this, right? You know, because we all have so many things, right, that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions, right? So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.